with me on that, Living Martyr? Do you know anybody who would say this has been their happiest year?
Talking about 2020.
2020, 2021. That's a good one. Joe Biden. That's right. That's a very good response. But I don't know him personally. I don't know anybody personally who would say this was their happiest year. Maybe we should do that. I think it's worth exploring. Has this past year affected your happiness? 1-8-PRAGER-776. It has affected mine. How do you like that? I'll bet you didn't expect me to say that. You know, this is not some automaton, some happiness robot speaking to you every week. Remember, the name of my book on happiness is Happiness is a Serious Problem. Now, if I thought happiness were effortless, I wouldn't have given the book that title, correct? I work on being happy. I do have a natural disposition toward it, although I was not a happy little kid. But I work on it, and that is the reason I can help you, whether through the book or through the show, or both, hopefully, with regard to your happiness, because I've worked on mine, and I have figured out some things to do. This year was a challenge, and I'll tell you why primarily. It wasn't a challenge primarily because of my life. My life continued actually more normal than almost any other American's life. I continued to be with friends from the very beginning. I did not miss, I don't believe I missed a Friday night Shabbat dinner with a lot of friends, generally about 16, every Friday night from last March. I have not worn a mask outdoors, ever. I have been with, when not possible, I've been on Zoom with friends. My synagogue, which I helped found, plays a great role in my life. I'm so committed to my weekly service where I teach that I will be in Cleveland this weekend. I'm giving a speech to the Republican Party of Ohio, and I will actually be giving my talk on the Torah from my hotel room in Cleveland. That is how committed I am. And it is no, by the way, it is mostly selfish. I tell the people at my synagogue, minyan as we call it, I tell them, I come here every week out of selfish reasons. This keeps me sane. I've talked to you anyway about religion and happiness on a number of occasions. It's not my topic today. But how do I know about it? Because I know the role it plays in my own. There are secular people who are happy. There's no question about that. There are unhappy religious people. But by and large, there's no comparison. If for no other reason, you have a built-in community if you're religious. Where's your built-in community if you're secular? I'll wait for a response. You know what the secular response to the religious community is? Government. What was the great line? Oh yes, you got that line, Sean? I called it a Hall of Famer. The line from President Biden's State of the Union address, given to masked, vaccinated people in the House of Representatives. Nothing quite as wild as the vice president and her husband, the second husband. No, the second gentleman. I always get that wrong. Second gentleman. Now, if Kamala Harris were married to a woman, I would be the second lady. Well, we've always had a second lady, so there would be no switcheroo, now that I think of it. Kissing each other through masks. And we're supposed to take this woman seriously. So my question for you is, this past year, how has it affected your happiness? And it's very important to work on it. I worked on it quite a bit. I was just discussing this with a living martyr. This was the first year I did not travel abroad since I was 20 years old. I did not have a single speech. Well, I had a couple of speeches on Zoom. And it was a very different thing. But the worst for me, I'll tell you, you know what the greatest challenge to my happiness was? Not those facts. Very happy at home. I am very, thank God, happy at home. Not everybody can say that, I'm well aware, and I couldn't always say that. It's just for the record. The greatest challenge to my happiness this year was watching my country wrecked by the left. Morally, intellectually, and in fact physically. Watching Minneapolis and Portland and New York and Chicago, among others. I love this country. I do believe it's the last best hope on earth, as Abraham Lincoln characterized it. And to see it destroyed from within, an unprecedented thing. It's like our ambassador to the United Nations. The only ambassador to the United Nations from any country in the world to crap on her own country. This is unprecedented, of an essentially decent place committing suicide. And the people voting for the homicide that is creating the suicide. An amazing thing. That has, in fact, that has challenged my happiness this year. There's no place to move, my friends. There is no other United States.